Bernie Hall in the studio, and he will be here every Friday and Monday right through the year. Baz, welcome back, mate.
Boys.
Great to see you, Hawley.
Good to see you too, blokes. I'm excited about the season. I was actually looking forward to coming in.
I'm excited about the year too. Chris, I missed out on one of my Friday forecasts. I was just going through my notes, and I just also got Barry Hall will get suspended again this year as a forecast. And that's not playing footy. Did you see him over the summer? Who'd you have a crack at? You'd be the first ever. Did you get crossed to a young supporter? You'd be the first ever commentator to get suspended.
Oh, maybe.
How come you got so angry? What happened?
They were annoying me.
What did they say? What did they do?
No,
And for those listeners, including me, who didn't know and see any of this, you better paint the picture. What happened?
I'm not painting the picture now.
Yeah, come on.
This is a good first up, isn't it?
Yeah, we're going to the pump.
This is a great negative to start the show.
No, I actually thought it was a positive because you kept your cool. I felt sorry for them guys behind you.
The commentary box upstairs were shooting down questions, and there was kids behind me, and they were yelling and screaming. I couldn't hear the questions. So on national TV, I'm answering questions that aren't related to
the
questions I asked. So it looked like a bit of a dodo. So I told these young kids to, if you could, be quiet. And of course, when you ask someone like that
they get
to be
louder.
quiet, they get a lot louder. And they got a few more mates to come down and he's getting annoyed. So I really got annoyed, and I had a clipboard, and I took a swing at him with a clipboard. So I looked at, they were good sports, and they did quieten me out, thank God. Otherwise the clipboard would have come in.
It was coming. So that's why I thought he might be the first ever person not to play a game that gets suspended.
And he's got a bit of a different look, Mick, coming back for 2014.
No, I think he's been going to nightclubs with Swanee. He's got the right arm and the long sleeve. What's going on there? What is it?
It's been in the making for a while. My mate's a tattooist, and he came down and got me. I said, no, I'm not going to do it. So he's been at me for years, and finally he got me. So I had a few drinks under my belt, and he got me. So he sat me in the chair, and 8 hours later, I had a tattoo on me arm.
It took 8 hours.
Yeah, it took 8 hours, yeah.
You sitting still for 8 hours, I'd like to see that.
Well, I felt more sorry for him. He was sitting there drawing. Imagine concentrating for 8 hours.
Unbelievable.
And it's not quite finished yet, so
Not finished.
you'll be getting that.
Probably another 8 hours, but it was actually funny. When you do it for that long, your body goes into shock. And driving home, I was shaking like a leaf. My body was in shock.
Really?
Yeah, you probably shouldn't do it for that long, maybe, but...
Yeah, okay. So is this the start of something big? You're going to get all parts of your body done?
That's it.
So one part of your arm done?
Yeah, that's all.
Just down at the elbow it is, or just past the elbow. But we might get a photo and stick it up so people can see it, Baz, because we can't see it when you're dressed up in your suit, and they won't see it on the footy field, obviously. But you've got to finish a bit of colouring in and stuff to do, so you'll be getting that done pretty soon, I imagine.
Yeah.
Next 12 months or so?
Yeah, next 12 months or so, yeah. There's no rush.
That'd be great. Now listen, in relation to, you've also got bigger. What have you been in the gym, have you?
I've been
Over
training.
summer.
Mate, I've been a slob for...
You're not going to get out of the boxing part, eh? Heavyweight champion of Australia?
No, I'm done with that. I've been actually getting serious. I've been training pretty hard, so I've been a slob for a couple of years. Yeah.
How many kilos you put on in terms of physical muscle mass?
I only put on 6-7 kilos.
Incredible. You look massive.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind playing on him now.
Well, I'll tell you what, if he looked like that when he played,
I wouldn't be able to run.
Well, you would be able to run. You'd kick 150 goals. So, this is an interesting question, because I'm sure there's plenty of people out there listening right now who would be thinking, I'd love to do some exercise. I'd love to try and get fitter. And sometimes it takes a goal, a motivation, or a specific point that you're striving for. You haven't got that? I mean,
it's funny you ask.
have you got it in? What's the motivation?
Well, I watched myself on TV, and I had the suit on, and the collars are pretty tight.
Yeah.
And I thought, geez, I've got a bit of a double chin there. What's going on there? And then, well, that didn't faze me too much. Then I got a photo where I looked like really fat in this photo. I had a big double chin hanging out. I thought, no, that's it. That is it. I'm going to start training me bum off, and I've gone onto a mate who's pushed me pretty hard. So that's what the penny dropped then. I thought, no more. I'm going to.
So cross training?
Yeah, a bit of cross training. I haven't been running, which is probably why I've put on a bit of size. Because when you run, it strips it off a bit. I'm enjoying it. It's good.
So gym training, boxing training.
No, not boxing training. Just do
riding?
some spinning classes and stuff like that. So it's good for you. So people out there who want to get a sweat up, go and do some spinning classes. It's quite good.
And what about football? Are you going to play at all this year?
I haven't decided yet. I think maybe I might help the club for a couple of games again. But
Broadford,
yeah. But look at probably this point in time, Foxtel and Fox Footy is number one priority. So if I can, I'll help them out a couple of games. But as I said, you probably get 2 years grace in the media for commentary and boundary ride and stuff we're doing. This year's probably a big year for me. I've got to make sure that I do my job and do it well, and not demand when I'm going to play footy and work Foxtel around that. Foxtel's got to be number one priority. So that's where it's going to sit at the moment. Foxtel's number one, and whatever sits around that.
Well, let's see how much work you've done, because you had plenty of time to assess who's going to make the top 8. We had our top 8 yesterday with Chrisso and Whitey and myself. We put on the table what our top 8s were. We had unbelievable response from all our listeners via text message and even phone calls. Oh, just some interesting sides that are in it, that are out of it. Let's hear yours. Yes, we do. And we're going to write them down too. They're going in the vault.
Are they?
Yeah, unlike last year, you made up a few.
I remember the finals time last year we went through them, and I was probably
last
with them. No.
Sorry?
I wasn't last.
Oh, we thought you were. Come on. Let's get on to 2014.
Top 4, Fremantle will finish on top.
Oh, you love Fremantle.
Hawthorn second.
Yes.
Swans third.
Yeah.
And the interesting one,
Okay.
the Adelaide Crows will be 4.
Top 4?
Yep.
Now, why do you think they'll make that much of an improvement?
I just think their forward line, and last year they had a disappointing year.
Yep.
But I reckon they've really found what they've got on their list. They've found a lot out about themselves, and particularly the coaching staff. I spoke a lot with the coaching staff as well. That was a really good year for them to have to go forward. So I'm really confident that they can finish top 4. We know that the gun recruits they've got Eddie Betts and James Podsiadly. That was probably the issue last year, was Tex Walker when he got injured. Who's going to fill in the shoes now? If that happens again, they've got no dramas with kicking goals anymore.
So with your Fox Footy role, you sat down with the coaching staff over the summer, have you?
Oh look, I just spoke to the guys, and I've done a few games in that challenge, and spoke to him. He said it was with misfortune, and found out a lot about their list, and a lot about how they went about it.
You agree with what he
under
said?
duress? Oh, definitely, yeah. I really rate him as a coach. Like last year, and probably the best thing I like about him is he admitted his mistakes. He did a lot of things wrong last year, and he's admitted them. So I think that's a really good mix in terms of the coach, that you can sit back, assess your own game, and cop it on the chin that you didn't perform the best as well as the side. So I think they're in a pretty good position to have a really good year.
Yeah, well, left field one for top 4. Adelaide in the top 4 for Barry Hall. We didn't have Adelaide at all in our top 8s, did we, yesterday, Chris?
No,
neither of us.
No, and not many people did. So
That's going to be the difference, boys. That's why we're going to get the chocolates at the end of the year.
Interesting. Now, 5th.
5th of the Eagles.
Yes.
But the Eagles' top end is, if they're fit and healthy list, we know how good their list are.
So I've actually got them 4th position.
New voice, I think it's going to do them a world of good.
So just to summarise, and a lot of people have got the non-Victorian sides towards the top, but you've got 4 non-Victorian teams in your top 5. 6th?
I got Geelong. I think Geelong are. We know what Geelong bring. They're just a good club. They'll finish 6th again. They've got a few injuries. 7th, sorry. They've got a
6th, 7th.
6th.
7 home games at Timber Stadium, perhaps, doesn't it?
Stop stuffing me up, man. The Bombers. I think the Bombers will be finishing 7th. I think they had a great year. I just hope there's no sanctions or anything happen, but I think they've got a good list. And once again, I think last year was good for them. They played under a bit of duress, and I think it'll do them the world of good this year. They can play without any restrictions. So I think the Bombers can finish 7th.
Are you worried about their forward structure?
A little bit, but I think they've got enough to. I think enough to cover it. They've got a lot of good midfielders that kick goals, so I think they can cover it. But and number 8, I've got the Pies. I think the Pies can scrape in.
Squeeze in.
Yeah.
Do you agree?
Look, this is probably the hardest. 7th and 8th was the hardest positions to pick. There's no doubt about that. Because there's North Melbourne, there's Carlton, there's Port Adelaide, which I love, but
no Richmond.
No Richmond. So I think the Pies with Jesse White's going to be a massive impact player for the Pies. I think I know he's injured at the moment, but I think we've seen on his NAB challenge form, he's going to make a real impact for the Pies.
Wooden Spoon.
I think GWS is still a fair bit off. I think they're still a fair bit behind, but it's going to be a long year for the Saints. And I think we're talking now Alan Richardson, so maybe we can ask him about that, but I think it's going to be a long year for the Saints as well. So it's going to be a close race for the Wooden Spoon.
All right, we get a break out of the way. Barry Hall with us right through until 8:30, and you're quite right, Alan Richardson, one of our special guests, coming up after 8 o'clock, the new St Kilda coach, and also after 8 o'clock we're going to chat with Matthew Cruiser from the Blues. It's 7:45.